Hey ladies, I know this is not my normal attire, but it's late and I took a nap earlier and I can't sleep. So I'm about to do a video, yes, en mi cama, porque necesito escribir a few notes. And I was just sitting here thinking about just some of the lessons that I've learned over this past year. Because if y'all have been following me, you know that I have been through it this year. This is mainly for people who were following me on Instagram because my YouTube channel is fairly new. But if you are here and you do not know who I am, my name is Love. I created a platform called Hanging Out with Love where I discuss self-love as well as hypergamy. I am the self-love guru. This is something that I really, really enjoy talking about, from mental health to skincare to relationships. I cover all ground, and I wanted to speak from the topic, you cannot go forward if you do not forgive. And I'm going to send this video to all my friends because this is something that I've been talking to them about for a long time. Like some of them for years, some of them for a year and a few months. But I always talk about how I've historically had a difficult time forgiving people. And I honestly think the reason for that was because people who I was done wrong by were typically very close to me, and it wasn't really something that I could do anything about. And so when it comes to people who are not as close to me, it's like, okay, well, you can be cut off because we're not related. I don't have to see you. I don't have to talk to you. And I don't have to allow you the opportunity to hurt my feelings again. But it got to the point where I was being very unrealistic because I wasn't even telling people what they did to bother me. It was just like, oh, they should know. And I would cut ties with the person. And in the process, I really was hurting some people's feelings. I know there was a person that I stopped talking to, I think it was the year before last. And she was like, what did I do to you? And I literally did not tell her. Like, I was just over it. Like, and I didn't really know how to express myself. And as a feminine woman, you have to be in tune with your own emotions. It's mandatory. How can you nurture a child and make sure that they're comfortable in their being and in their emotions if you're not even in touch with yourself, right? And the epiphany came for me when this year I was just going through so much all at once. I was dealing with a court case for my assault. I bought a washer and dryer. The dryer took forever to dry clothes, and I contacted the person that sold it to me, and they made a huge deal out of it. So now I'm like, okay, now I'll probably have to go to court for this. And then I'm dealing with another case where I have to basically be involved with a situation at my school where I was unjustly put out of my program. And it was just so much going on. And I'm like, I can't keep fighting. Like, I'm so tired of fighting battles. And it got sort of addicting to me for me to be able to say that I was the victim. And that although I was the victim, I was victorious, and this was something that I overcame. And that's been a narrative of mine ever since I was younger. I went through a lot, but I've always been able to overcome situations. And because I was always spoiled, people have always assumed that my life was just perfect, that I had all of this opportunity, and, that I shouldn't complain about anything because I had everything that I've ever wanted. But with me, I learned quickly that, like, family and relationships, it's about way more than just money. Your family can have money to sustain a family and have enough money to spoil you, but that doesn't mean anything if that real love isn't there and that understanding isn't there and you learning to process your emotions is not there. Like, I feel like I had to learn a lot on my own, and as a result of that, I didn't have much emotional regulation because I bottled up everything. because I really wasn't allowed to express how I felt and what was going on with me. So with that being said, after the whole situation with the dryer, which it does dry very well actually, it just takes, again, forever. I said, you know what? I'm not going to court for that. It's okay. Some things you got to charge to the game. You have to be merciful. And that was my issue. I didn't know how to be merciful, so I didn't know how to forgive. Because in my mind, if you do me wrong and I feel angry enough to retaliate or angry enough to make you pay for what you did, then I feel justified in that. But what people don't understand is that it takes a lot of energy for you to exert to be upset with someone. It takes a lot of energy to go to court over a matter. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. So for me to be dealing with 3 different situations and be like, you know what? Let me focus on this one, and the other 2, let me just let that go. I've been fighting long enough. I can't add no more to my plate. I'm going to lose my mind if I continue to focus on this person did me wrong, so I have to get them back. Or this person did me wrong, so I have to make them pay. You can't make everybody pay. Like in life, people are going to do you dirty. And that's just something that I wasn't willing to accept. I'm like, no, if you do me dirty, it has to be consequences for that. You know, I'm on go. But no. Literally, you will not be able to avenge yourself in every situation. And when you let go of that vengeful spirit and you just say, you know what? The battles that I need to fight, such as, of course, my school stuff. I need my degree. I earned it. That's something that I need to fight. That's something that I can put forth energy into, right? But when I'm extending myself and stretching myself so thin to be angry at people and, you know, to say, well, right now I just can't deal with this. Of course, you don't have the mental or emotional capacity to deal with the smaller things from family or friends because you are stretching yourself too thin when it comes to these other issues. Some things you just gotta let go. It's okay to let go. It doesn't make me weak. It doesn't make me inadequate. It doesn't make me a victim. It just simply means it's not even worth it. I'm worth more. My peace of mind is worth more. Now, when I run into a situation where it's going to impact my mental health to let that go more than it will to go ahead and fight for it, then that's when you fight. But as I always say from my mother, choose your battles wisely. She always says that. Choose your battles wisely. You can't fight everything. And that has been one of the most valuable pieces of information that I have received from my mom over the years. One of the most, because my mom is very wise. But my thing was, I thought I was choosing my battles wisely because I wasn't fighting anymore like I used to do in high school. I wasn't arguing with ratchets anymore. I was not entertaining people who are cursing or yelling, or if you all follow me on like Facebook and Instagram, you know, I really don't argue with people. I may explain a concept so that a woman can understand, but when it comes to men, they get ignored. I don't say anything to men on my page, period. Because what am I explaining myself to you for? And this is not a platform that's dedicated towards you. It's not geared towards you, not even a little bit. The men that we're referring to, you're not even in that tax bracket. You don't even have the mentality to execute what a masculine man would execute, right? So, but I digress. I don't do that. And so I thought what I was doing was taking the right path. Okay, well, when somebody does something in this way, you can handle it and you can address it because you're not addressing it with violence and you're not addressing it in a ratchet manner and you're not addressing it by cursing. You're being very feminine. You're being very relaxed about it, but you're just putting people in their place. But I'm so tired of putting people in their place, y'all. I'm tired. I can't do it. So you can't move forward until you forgive. I'm literally blocking my blessings by holding on to this stuff. I can't do it. And God has really been speaking to me because I've been like, what am I doing wrong? And I came across this video that was talking about how for some people, it becomes easier to be the victim. Let me find it. It's a video by Chloe, and I will put it in the description box as soon as I find the link. But it's a video by Chloe, and she said that we can be the victim in a situation, and then we basically develop a victim mentality where we feel like, okay, so we've been done wrong, and we harbor that, and we hold on to it, and it starts to make us bitter. And one thing I refuse to be is bitter, because those bitter individuals are the ones who be hurting people and put them in situations like the ones I've been put in. Like, for instance, the lady that sold me the washer and dryer, I was in her house and found it. I was in her house, and she's a nurse, and she also has an 8-month-old baby. So she's working really long hours in the middle of the pandemic, and she'll work at night typically. So then she has to come home and watch the kids while her husband's at work. Then she also has her sister's children over there. And then she's working because her and her husband just bought a house. And she said he's still trying to get his business together. And she also said that he did construction. So I'm not sure if that's together, but I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure he's an entrepreneur. And if she doesn't work, their household doesn't work. So, of course, I mean, the washer is great, but of course you're going to try to sell me a dryer. Not try, she did it. Of course you're going to sell me a dryer that doesn't work that well and not tell me that, because you don't want to run the risk of not being able to sell something, and you really need that money. That $300 is putting food in her child's mouth. So even in that situation, I had to sit back and be empathetic, because I'm like, why would you even sell this to me? And you knew what was going on. And, you know, I was very annoyed, but then I had to say, her life is difficult enough. She has 2 children, an 8-year-old and an 8-month-old. She went back to work 8 weeks after her daughter was born. That is devastating. And she and her husband have been together for years. A long, long time. So I'm pretty sure she got married young. You know how that goes. But she's a Bob the Builder. And very masculine, because she was definitely trying to argue with me. And I'm like, look, I'm not going to argue with you. I'll have my attorney send you a letter. But you know what? My attorney's not sending her anything, because I'm just going to charge it to the game. That's just what it is. So the video I listened to was called "When a Person Isn't Sorry, How to Stop Waiting for an Apology." Y'all, that video really spoke to my spirit. I am going to put it in the description box. I really want y'all to listen to it. But just know, you can't move forward in life if you don't let that hurt go. Whether it comes from a Dusty, whether it came from your dad, whether it derived from your relationship with your mother, a sibling, people who've done you dirty on campus, you've been done dirty in the workplace. Some things you just gotta let go, and it's okay. And it's not going to feel good, but you cannot hold on to it. All right? You can't. And let me make sure I hit all my points. Okay, yeah, you have to forgive. You're carrying negative energy with you when you don't. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So thank you guys for listening. I love you dearly. If you're not already following me on Instagram and Facebook, my links are in the description box. And then, of course, go get you a book. That link is down there too.